is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is I want to talk about Oswald's rifle. And I'm also going to show evidence that Oswald's rifle that he used that day was not the car counter rifle, and the rifle that they recovered was the car counter rifle. But the rifle that Oswald used, they didn't recover. And I'm going to show you the reason why I made this statement and this claim. Now, as I point out in my other videos, that the rifle that Oswald's holding in his hand right here is a sniper's rifle, M1 Springfield rifle. It's not the car counter rifle. And the revolver that he has on his hip was not the revolver that he ordered. It was a revolver that he sold his brother for some of $10. Like I also point out, this image, the backyard image, was actually taken and developed by February 5th of 1963. And again, Oswald did not order the car counter rifle or the revolver until March of 1963. So this image here was taken 1 month and developed 1 month prior to when he ordered the car counter rifle and the revolver. Now, as I point out also in my research, the sniper's nest, where they found Oswald's palm prints, fingerprints, and everything else, and the fingerprints that me and my friend Guy Cooper found on the bullet casings. So I placed them back into their locations, and the location, as you see up here, the paper bag where they found it and everything else, to get more of an insight. Like when I analyze the images and films, I have to get more of insight. So I have to put everything back and see exactly what it was like back then. Now, everybody knows that, even also in my research, that I point out 2 shots came in from the right and exiting out to the left. And that's the first shot and the 5th shot, as I show you right here. Now, the Carcano rifle. This is where they found a Carcano rifle, as you see here. Here's a Carcano rifle. We have 1 box pushed up against here and 2 boxes pushed over like this. Let's pull up this image right here. Excuse me. This is supposedly the exit that the gunman took, which if you watch my other video, you'll see where I'll probably end up making another video to go more in details on Oswald's route. But in this location, here's where they found the clip for the car counter rifle, and they found a car counter rifle here. And like I said, Oswald placed this there as a decoy. The reason why he placed it there as a decoy, he puts the clip over here. Because see, people don't understand that when you put the evidence back in the location where they found it, okay, and you think about, well, he left this out in the open, but he hid this part. This is what a person does when they're trying to throw somebody off. And this is what Oswald did. The car counter rifle only had Oswald's palm print on it. Now the car counter rifle was ordered under the name of A. Heidel. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Excuse me. Coke. Choice of a new generation. Anyway. Sorry about that. But Oswald places this clip out in the open on top of a box. So the reason why he did that, and by the stairwell, so they think that's the exit. So someone will find a clip first, which they did. After they found the clip, then they started looking at location there, and that's when they found the car counter rifle. So it all worked for Oswald where he placed it. But this is not the weapon that he used. As I pointed out, like I said, backyard images of holding the M1 Springfield sniper's rifle. Car counter rifle is what they found, and everything else. Now, everybody knows, and I've been going through a lot of heat over the Dillard image of seeing Oswald in this window here. Okay. This is the original copy of it, of the original film image. Well, we know the snipers left. If you watch my cursor, the snipers took shots from here. But here's Oswald here looking at this window. Now, this is what got me thinking when I look at the images of the sniper's nest. He's standing over here in this window here. Now, when I look at the sniper's nest, which, let me pull this up here. Now, why would he be looking out this window here? If you watch, see where I got all the circles at. If you look at this box here, which they overlooked again, you'll see a footprint from a shoe right here pressed down on this box. Now, if Oswald put his his right foot up here, he could put his left foot up here. But why would he do this? And when he came back down, this is why when I look at something, we see, if you watch my cursor, we have one bullet casing here, one bullet casing here, and one way over here. Now, wonder if that bullet casing was right here, as you see the indent right here, like something was pressed down and slid across, which if Oswald was standing up here, okay, he's standing here, he steps down, steps on that bullet casing, that bullet slid it, made him slide a little bit, and then it spun off, and that's where it ends up landing over here, which is a good survey when you're analyzing this. Now also notice that there's a pry bar on this window ledge, on this windowsill. We see a pry bar there. So when we start looking over in this area, as you see here, I lined up where Oswald was looking out at, right here, as you see with my cursor. If he puts one foot here, one foot on this box here, why would he be standing up here? Now, my father's always good advice. He says if you lose something or anything else, best place to hide something or to look is right in front of you. Because 95% of the time, that's where everything's always at. So what I noticed when I was looking over images of the sniper's nest, just like this one here, as you notice, there's a box above the window here. As you see, there's a crack across in between the wood there. And you also see a pry mark in that piece of wood. Now, as I pointed out, there's a pry bar sitting on a sill. So what I did was, I went ahead, looked at that pry bar, that's right here, and look at this hole right here. This top of this pry bar fit this hole right here. So I looked at other images, even like today. On this piece of wood, there's a pry mark here and there's a pry mark here where someone hit something in that wood and rip it. I've been in construction for 33 years. Okay. I know how houses built. I've built houses from the ground up. I've also done blueprints. I've done plumbing, electrical, rough frame, finish framer, rough carpenter, finish carpenter. I've done it all. Drywall, stone, brick, concrete, roofing, gutters, windows, doors. I've done it all. And this is a fact because I used to work all through Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and Michigan. Now, these are pry marks. And this piece of wood right here has got a split across it. This will be a perfect hiding spot for Oswald to stick his rifle that he used in the day of assassination. As you see in this diagram right here that I put up. Okay, we have the inside of the building, the outside of the building. We have the bricks layered up. What people don't know is this type of window here, this part of the box is hollow because there's this much hollow and then the rest is brick as they lay it on top of each other as they stick it out on the outer part of the window. Then we have the brick wall on the backside here with the window frames in between them. We got the split, if you watch my cursor, right here in the wood above the window. That's an easy spot to where Oswald could drop his rifle, replace the wood, get down, and take off. Because remember, you have to look at this when you're doing an investigation. And this is one thing I don't understand about how they blundered it all up when you start putting things back in place. Now, when they found the car counter rifle, that's when they stopped looking. Because they figure, well, hey, we got the murder weapon now. But they didn't figure out, was it a decoy or not? That's what I always said. It had to have been a decoy because it's too much obvious for them to find it in that location. Now, as I point out here, we have a hollow box, about this much is hollow, above the window. And then we have two pry marks, one here, and that piece of wood is split. But they're not on the other windows. Just this one window here above the sniper's nest. It's easy for Oswald to place a Carcano in there. Like weeks later, place a Carcano rifle in there. Put the wood there. Go home that one night. Grab his Springfield rifle. Come back in. Put it all together. Open that box up. Set that piece of wood to the side. Take that raw Carcano rifle out. Wipe it real good. Stick the decoy rifle there. Place everything in place. Then when he takes his shots, climb back over there. Throw the rifle up in there. Plop that piece of wood back in there. Walk straight back to the elevator. Take the elevator down. He's by the Coke machine within a matter of seconds without breaking a sweat, and no one know the difference. So see, it was very well planned. Now, as I point out, like I said, as you see here, here's the pry bar. We can see this. That's why I said there's a lot of information that people don't understand. There's a lot of information in these images if you study them the right way. And when you start seeing things like this pry bar here, okay, there's a pry bar there. Why was there a pry bar there? Okay, so now we're going to look around in the area. Then we're going to notice in the image where there's a pry mark in the wood above the window. So now we have the pry bar there. Now we have this pry mark right here, and this is split straight across here. As you see in this image here. Okay, this is from the film. Oswald took his shots over here. And when you piece all this together, this is what I'm saying. When you piece all this together, it makes more sense. Because like I said, an image can actually tell us a lot of information. Okay, if you look, okay, look at this window over here. See this window here, it's all bricked up. But this window here, it has a box across it. Now, Oswald, like I said, when we study these images, we could tell what Oswald was doing, how he did it, and everything else. So he's already got the piece of wood down. He's already planted the decoy rifle and stuff. He sets down the box. He gets his palm print on the side because he pushes his palm print down to adjust himself. He throws the bag on the side of him. He takes his palm and pushes it on this side of the box, and his finger on this side pushes the box over. Then he takes his shots. He takes 3 shots. First shot was a dead shot, which I'll go into that into another video because I call that first shot the dead shot. That's why he only took 2 shots after that. But he takes that shot, dead shot, he cocks and reloads. That bullet flies out, and he does it again and does it again. Now we got 3 bullet casings on the floor. Now he gets up, as you watch my cursor, he gets up, walks over here, steps up. Piece of wood could be either right here at the time or over here at the time, or it could be laying on these boxes up at that time. Takes his shots, walk right over here, step up on here for a minute, throw the rifle down inside there, take that piece of wood, push it back up in there. So all he had to do is just slap it and it's right back in place. Step down, slid a little bit, knocked 1 bullet casing away from the other 2 bullet casings, spun over to this way, and then walk around this way and walk straight to the elevator, take it down to the 2nd floor, walk out off the elevator door, out to the door to the right side there, and he's right there at the Coke machine. So you're looking at a total of 15 to 20 seconds is all it would take. This would also explain when in the Diller image why Oswald could be seen looking out this window. He wasn't being actually looking out the window. Actually, what he did was he placed his rifle up in there, popped the box, and he was getting ready to get down. Because remember, when you're looking at a still image, you think he's just constantly staring there, but he's not. As far as we know, that image was taken at the right time, at the right place at the right time, just like in the Mormon photo. We look at the Mormon photo, we see the guy's head in the top window, but his rifle sticking down below. That's because he already took his shot and looked out just to make sure. After he took his fatal headshot, he looked up, and she just took the picture at the right time as he looks up, and the other gunman was coming around to take his shot to Governor Conley. So we have a still image. That's how that works. Like I said, when we watch these films, we time frame everything else, and we place everything in their locations, we get more of the true story behind it. Just like right here. Now we can figure out why there's only 2 bullet casings here and one's way over here, because when Oswald was stepping down, he stepped on that bullet case because it did look like it was stepped on at the very tip of it, and the bullet spun around and went over here. That's why that one bullet casing's far off away from the other 2. This also explains why Oswald was looking out the window in the Dillard image, because he was just coming down after he placed the rifle up in this box here. There's a pry bar on the windowsill here, which explains why there's 2 pry marks up here and a cracked wood going across there. That also explains that. And like I said, when you actually watch the films and stuff and you put everything back in its place and you look over the photographic evidence that they had at that time, you could piece a lot of this information together on exactly what took place if you work everything in time frames and you get more information out from it. So in my research, as I point out here, okay, as you see in this image here, Oswald was looking out above in this window here. If you watch my cursor, had a left foot here, right foot here. As he stepped down, right here, you can see the markings in the floor and stuff. He steps down, that bullet casing flies off, because if you think about it, the bullet casing will be in this, basically this location right in here. From here to here, because you see these 2 bullet casings are not that far apart from each other. So if we put that bullet casing, say, right about here, in this location here, if Oswald stepped off with his left foot, he would have stepped right on that bullet casing, slid a little bit, which you can see that slid mark right here. You can see a deep imprint here with a slide mark. Then how this thing shot off over here, and it could have went rolled over up to here. So he went slid, pew, and it slid right over to here, which makes it more logic of why this bullet is away from these 2 bullets. Why Oswald was looking out the window, as we see in the Dillard image, because he was placing the rifle above the box, which also explains, because you can even see here, I'm going to point out right here, the bottom of the pry bar still sitting on the windowsill right here. So see, and you can see the partial footprint right here, and see how the dent is in the corner of the box right here. And as I show the impression of weight had been on that one corner, as we see in this image here, we see that big crease right here. So someone was actually stepping right here with the weight to put that crease across here and on this corner right here. So with the left foot here, right foot here, and then place the rifle in there, place the wood back, get back down, step right here where the bullet case was at, okay, slid them, and then the bullet just, ricochet off the boxes and land up over here. So see, there's a lot of things we have to look at, okay? Just like we can see this is an old scratch, we can see this is an old scratch right here. Even when we look at this, especially when we colorize it, because we can get more details, we can see these are old scratches, but we can see this is a new scratch here, and this is a new scratch right along here, because look how more new it looks like the wood was, carved into it. Okay, we're getting into the deep grain of the wood now. This just happened that day, because we could tell this. Like I said, I worked with wood, I've done flooring and everything else. This was happening that day of the assassination. These are old marks right here from a box being slid or whatever. And as you go over time, they start getting dirty when you're walking over them and everything else. But as you see here, these are brand new deep imprints that was in the wood. So you see, one image told us a lot of information that not a lot of people don't know, if you know what you're looking for. Just like I said, when we look at this image here, we see a pry bar here. Okay, we see a crease in this box here and press down on this here. Okay, we see the impressions of marks, scratch marks right here in the floor, which is brand new. But there's a bullet casing over here, but the 2 bullet casings are right here. But there's one way over here. So if one bullet casing, let's say, land right here, and if someone stepped on it, slid that sucker across there, and it was spun off underneath the foot. This has been proven fact as well from other cases. So see, excuse me, there's a lot of things one image can tell us. By just looking at this one pry bar, finding this one pry bar in one image, then you look at other images, like this image here, and you see the wood is split with a pry mark in it. Then you look at this pry mark right here, and it's the same thickness, the same wideness as the tip of this pry bar here. So you see, that makes you start thinking. And then we got the Dillard image, like I said. that shows, I want to pull this up here, that shows Oswald looking out this window here. So we have a pry bar here, right where Oswald was standing at. We have up here, we have a split wood going across here with a pry mark on this side, a pry mark on this side, which is the same depth and wideness of that pry bar that's sitting right here on the windowsill right here. We have a foot imprint on a shoe imprint on top of this one box with the impression of weight being distributed on that one corner. We have one bullet casing far distance from another with a little slight dent in it like someone stepped on it. We have new scratches on the floor right there between the other, by the other bullet casings. And Oswald's image looking out, he's looking out of this window right here. So see, we now know that the decoy rifle, and maybe today that rifle's still up there, as far as we know. It might be still hidden in that box. But this information I put out in my one book, JFK Assassination Report, 13 Shots, that's been out since 2014. And I've also talked to people at the Texas School Book Depository at the museum. I wrote them some emails and showed them this information. So is Oswald's rifle there today? I would not say it probably won't be, but then again, it might still be. And if someone looks in that box and actually sees there is a rifle there, then we know that everything that I found and the story I tell right here is 100% fact. Okay, now everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be. Best place to hide something is right in front of them. And as you see, this is right in front of them. They see the bullet casings there, but they're not paying attention because they found the rifle way down on the other side of the building. So I just want to make this video to show people that the car counter rifle was in fact a decoy rifle, and Oswald hid his rifle in a different location, and the location I showed you is the most obvious place to hide something by what the images are telling us. Thank you. Good night.